Hi, Preston.
Gail, thanks for coming in. How was Boston?
Boston was good.
Quite a dynamic team that Nathan's put together up there.
You're right about that. It's a real joy working with a top-notch client who's having a great year. Quite a contrast to the Beekman engagement.
That's what I wanted to see you about. Eric Manning phoned while you were gone.
It doesn't surprise me. I wanted to brief you before going there this afternoon.
Actually, I took the liberty of asking Timothy to fill me in.
Timothy? Well, did he explain to you the battles that we've been having over inventory and receivables allowances?
Laid them all out clearly. Then I paid a visit to Beekman. Spent an afternoon with Eric Manning, and we worked through the issues.
Oh?
You'll be happy to know that we ironed the whole thing out.
Really?
Came to a reasonable compromise. They got the numbers to their annual report printer, and everything's put to bed. The job just requires your signature.
Well, when you say reasonable compromise, how did their bottom line turn out as a result of this compromise?
Small profit, but a lot less than their board was expecting. I thought you'd be pleased.
Yes, well, I guess I just need to take a look at what the final resolution turned out to be.
Of course. I've had the files waiting in here for your return. The final financials are here, client data that Timothy copied, and the engagement control form, which just needs your signature.
Well, once I finish with writing the prelims on the Boston engagement, I will go over this.
Please do. I've already signed the audit report. Jordan Smith's the concurring partner on this. Naturally, he won't let us release our opinion until all the signatures are in place.
And for the sake of argument, suppose I have a problem with something in here.
Gail, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Look, I know this was a tough engagement. You called their financial people unresponsive, as I recall. Maybe you and the CFO just locked horns on some judgment calls. You couldn't see the forest for the trees. It happens.
Well, in case I don't get through all of this today, I'll take it home tonight. You around in the morning in case I have any questions?
Be in all day.
And now that I've seen exactly what marketing expenses they capitalize in that bizarre asset account, I can finally give you the details for a reversing adjustment.
Hallelujah. Timothy, where do you stand with the depreciation test?
Well, they made a very odd end-of-year adjustment that reduced their depreciation expense by half. They tell me it's just a math error.
You guys really know how to tie up a conference room. Leland says you're raking his staff over the coals. It's just an audit. Let's not turn it into an MBA thesis. I've got a board waiting for an annual report.
Mr. Manning, we are not raking anybody. Well, what I was hoping to say is you get me the item-by-item inventory turnover statistics and the after-the-year-end cash receipts detail like we've been asking for, and we'll be ready for a real discussion.
Miss Orton, could I see you in my office, please?
I'll be right there.
Miss Orton? Glad I'm not in charge here.
Your day will come, Timothy.
I take it the old man has expressed my displeasure with the pace of your audit.
I'm aware that he'd like the annual report out just as soon as possible.
Frankly, Miss Orton, we expected this audit to be finished
2 weeks ago.
As I did, Mr. Wilson, but we have been asking for subsequent cash receipts data and inventory turnover statistics. Now, without that data, I am in no position to accept your allowance numbers for obsolete inventory and bad debts. Now, as we both know, those are the key judgments in this audit, and lacking proof to the contrary, I have to believe that both allowances should be doubled.
Oh, come on. We're dealing in a gray area on both issues. Your young people may be very smart, but they do not know our business, Miss Orton.
I'm not trying to tell you how to manage your business.
Let me just get down to brass tacks. Last year was a very tough year. Between the mega stores and the flood of dot-coms, we traditional wholesalers have seen our margins squeezed like Florida oranges. Your pinstripe team comes in here and finds some honest mistakes in our numbers, and I can live with that. But when it comes to the valuation of our inventory and the collectability of our customers' accounts, our 18 years of experience is worth more than your pop-in perspective.
I recognize that there's room for interpretation, but without substantive data, I can't just act on your opinion.
If I accept your pessimistic views of our receivables and inventory and have to double our allowance, we will end up in the red. And believe me, Miss Orton, this will not sit well with the man in the corner office.
Mr. Wilson, we are not going to solve this in the next 5 minutes. Now, from what my team tells me, they're very close to wrapping up loose ends on all the routine stuff, and as you know, I have to be in Boston next week.
Well, you know, this is exactly why I wanted to see this audit finished this week. You can't change your plans.
Not at this stage. Now, Timothy will be in charge while I'm gone, and I'm instructing him to wrap everything else up by midweek, and that will give your staff ample opportunity to give us the data that we've been asking for, and then we can reach closure.
I'll brief the old man, but he's not going to like it.
Preston Treadway.
Hello, Preston.
Eric, good to hear from you.
How's your tennis game holding up?
Afraid you'd still pummel me, Eric. Been on the road so much I haven't had time to hit the courts.
Well, don't look to me for sympathy. Listen, Preston, I need your wise counsel on some problems we're experiencing with the audit.
Oh? What kind of problems?
Well, it seems your audit manager and my CFO have locked horns. The audit's come to a screeching halt. My PR department tells me they can't guarantee getting the annual report out by the due date if we don't get the numbers to the printer ASAP. I wouldn't ask under normal circumstances, but I'd sure be relieved if you could meet with Leland and me right away to put the outstanding issues to rest.
Can't wait till Gail's back from Boston. She has the best grasp of what's going on.
If I thought it could wait, I wouldn't be calling.
Okay, I hear you. How about Wednesday afternoon, 1 o'clock?
Make it 12:30. I'll take you to lunch at the club.
Okay, 12:30 it is.
See you there.
I'll see you there, Eric.
In a hurry?
Off to Preston's office. Son's come up on the audit. He wants a briefing.
What do you base your estimate on?
On the growth of inventory. Suggests that there's obsolete inventory that's not likely to move at current prices.
And Beekman's CFO contends that they will because...
They're touting some new marketing program combined with e-commerce initiatives that they're in the midst of launching.
So a case can be made that the verdict's still out.
It's a judgment call. I mean, how astute is their management team? Can they pull it off?
Okay. Thanks for your help, Timothy. Or you can leave the file so I can have an intelligent discussion with their CEO. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right.
So, what do you think?
I'm not sure.
Well, according to Leland, your team's far too pessimistic on the value of our receivables and inventory. And now they want me to prove that they're wrong. More importantly, I've got some bankers trying to muscle their way onto the board, and not to give me a pat on the back. I've hinted that despite a tough year, we're going to emerge from it with a reasonable profit. If they buy it, that gives me time to execute our new strategic plan. But if I accept your numbers, my annual report's in the red. We'll be in default on the bank loan, and I may not be able to fend off the sharks.
I've looked at the numbers. You're asking for a lot.
How about this? I'll give you the depreciation and the advertising costs if you can see your way to signing off on our receivables and inventory.
I can't go that far, Eric. What if you eat a third of the receivables and inventory?
Oh, that'd be...
About $100,000 profit.
You always did do your homework, Preston.
While you were still on the tennis court. Why don't you call in your CFO? See if we can't put this to bed.
I told him to be on call for us.
So I signed off, and the report's at the printer. Of course, I warned them not to make any public announcement until we completed our internal review and sign off.
I'll go over it as soon as possible.
I appreciate it, Jordan. Call me if you spot any problems.
Don't worry. Preston. Audit manager's signature.
Right, Gail Orton. She's in Boston till Monday. I'll have her sign as soon as she returns.
Sounds good.
I've kept the files in here until you returned. The final financials are here, the client data Timothy copied, and the engagement control form, which just needs your signature.
Well, once I finish with writing the prelims on the Boston engagement, I will go over this.
Please do. I've already signed the audit report. Jordan Smith's the concurring partner on this. Naturally, he won't let us release our opinion until all the signatures are in place.
And for the sake of argument, suppose I have a problem with something in here.
Gail, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Look, I know this was a tough engagement. You called their financial people unresponsive, as I recall. Maybe you and the CFO just locked horns on some judgment calls. You couldn't see the forest for the trees. It happens.
Well, in case I don't get through all of this today, I'll take it home tonight. You around in the morning in case I have any questions?
Be in all day.